putting the word black in front of something with no real
Talk
black
to me.
equity.
Talk to me.
Interesting. It's interesting. That's just one of these things. I just feel like it only happens with black people, where it would be X, Y, and Z company, and they're doing a black initiative, or this is the black division, or like the soul aspect of it. And it's like I feel like if anybody else did it, it wouldn't even be a thought of. It wouldn't be allowed, and it would just be, extremely disrespectful to their culture. Like if we were to have the annual Arab summit, right? And we're not Arab, and we every year we do the annual Arab summit, and we were the ones behind it, and we didn't really have any Arab partners. People that run it might be Arabs, but it's literally us behind it. Earn Your Leisure Arab Summit. Like I'm not opposed to doing that, but I think the only way to do that is to have a partner in the situation who's Arab, 50-50 split, however you decide, then it's like, okay, now that makes sense. Or if we just did like a Mexican division, like if we did a Mexican division, then we would have to have people from Mexico. Like we would have to actually, integrate with Mexicans, right? We can't just hire people and then just say like, oh, this is what we're doing. This is our initiative for Mexicans. This is our initiative for Indians. This is our initiative for, you name it, Japanese people. I just feel like no group would even go for that. This doesn't make any sense. Like if they're gonna do, they do their own thing. They have Telemundo, or they have Al Jazeera, so they have, like, you know what I'm saying. So I just feel like we've just been so used to that it's just kind of normal at this point in time. And like I said, I feel like, if you're going to do something targeted towards black people, because everybody targets black people, I don't think you have to put the word black in front of it. You can just say, like, it's just like a record label, right? And it's just you putting out the type of music, it's automatically going to attract a certain element. But once you start to put black in front of it, now you're being very direct at what you're doing, right? And it's very targeted. So I just feel like if the word black is in something or associated with something and there's no real black equity involved in it, like at all, I just don't understand how that works. And I don't understand how it works. I also don't understand why it's accepted, because to me, it's like a form of charity. It's like to say, like, you guys can't really do it yourself, so we're going to do it for you. And I don't know. In this day and age, I don't know why that is even championed or accepted or celebrated.
How do we make these companies give us equity?
I don't even think it's about making sure that they give us equity. I just think that it's stopping it before it even happens. Like, you know what I mean? Like to say, like, yo, hey, we're not going to support it off the rip. So if you don't support something, they don't even have an initiative to actually do it. And then be like, really have strong pushback on it, to the point where they just feel so uncomfortable that they'll just give it up. Like, all right, that's a mistake. My bad. Write an apology letter. Like, we had good intentions, but we went about this the wrong way. We rather support people that's really doing it on the ground already, or we want to empower, people that's actually, from the culture. Like, so I don't think that they're never going to give us equity. So I just feel like it's just better to either to start your own thing, support your own thing, but boycott with support is more important. Like, as far as like, just don't champion it. But there's always going to be somebody black that will willingly champion anything that's not black for free. By the way, for free. You don't even have to pay them, and they'll do whatever you want. They'll do a press conference. They'll tap dance. They'll do cartwheels. And
don't forget the car.
And
boy,
yeah,
it is what it is.
Like, so what you're saying, like, how do we make them give us equity? I'm with Shadi on that. I don't think it is give us equity, but we also got to pay attention to, like, a lot of these corporations and that are using that, but also inside of their companies, they make these like diversity committees. That is be like, how is it diverse, right? Like, you'll find, like, all right, let me find people of color who work here, and you guys are gonna have your own, like, club inside of this company, and you guys can put on anything you want that you feel like will be representative of your culture. I'm like, but there's that diversity.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, we'll try to appease or we'll try to accommodate, but is that what we really want? You know what I'm saying? Is this
Yeah.
it? They always like we always have that quote is like go where you're celebrated, not tolerated.
Yep.
But we gotta really like believe that. Like really believe it and really live by it.
Yeah. And at some point, these companies are going to have to find a way to take care of not only us, but like their customer base a lot more, or people are going to leave. I think it was BS what Paramount did about not selling BT to Tyler and 15 on it. But it's like, I felt like they did that for a rollout. Like, we're going to tease it like, hey, we want to sell it and then retract the offer. But the companies that do not take care, and people are waking up, like even with cord cutting and cable, that was because at a point people felt like you were taking advantage of us. Prices were going up and there was a monopoly. AT&T went through the same thing and they have not been able to correct it. Like, if you do not take care of people, they feel like you are just constantly using them or manipulating them and not giving them anything back of value. Over these next 2 or 3 years, it's going to be a lot of trouble for some of these companies that are not giving. You choose. You either choose to give equity and take care of everybody, or your shit's going to go under. You pick.
Choice is yours.
Yep. That's the one thing I will say about the NFT culture idea. Like, even if I can bring it up, like I saw Bieber and some people file a lawsuit against Sotheby's because Bored Ape Yacht Club isn't performing as well. What Pimp C say? If it was Bored Ape Yacht Club back then, it got to be Bored Ape Yacht Club now. How you gonna sue? It's an investment. You gotta pick. But what do I know? Come see what Robert Smith has to say at InvestFest, please.
But that would be like if it's like an airline. Let's say I'm gonna make up an airline. Let's say it's like Red Blue Airline, right? Red Blue Airline is like the #1 airline in the world, and Red Blue Airline made a new IP called Red Blue Airline Black, and the Red Blue Airline Black only flies to major black cities. So it'll go from like New Orleans to Atlanta to Chicago to DC, and all the flight attendants is black, and they'll serve fried chicken on the planes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how
So
would
Pat
that
Mahomes'
like,
wife of Stewart is on there?
but how
Right.
crazy does that but how crazy does that sound though? How crazy does that sound though? That sounds crazy, right?
Fried
Chicken fried rice. Boy.
Nope.
Like,
It sounds crazy.
this sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
But that's what's happened. That's the equivalent of what these companies do when they do these black, when they throw black in front of it, or for the culture, or black at the end of it. It's the same exact thing. It's the craziest thing in the world, and nobody bats an eye.
Is the company doing well? Clearly, they won't be at InvestFest, so we can put a name on that bullet. We can blame me.
I mean, it's not one company though. That's why I didn't want to name any one company, because a lot of companies are guilty of doing it. And like I said, it's something that it keeps happening. So it happens across all areas of everything, right? Like, companies, they realize that black people are a consumer base that they can make money from, so they pander to black people.
Yeah.
And like I said, the way that they do it, I just think is not tastefully done, and it's disrespectful. But that's just my own personal thoughts on it. Everybody feel differently, but like I said, just using that airline example, like, if it would just like, it's just puzzling, like how you start something for black people and it's not run by black people.
It's like Soul Plane.
And then they tell you like, well, ownership doesn't matter.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah, I hate that.
As long as black people are empowered, that's what they use these terms. They're going to empower you. That's disrespectful. That's a disrespectful term. How you going to empower somebody? That's like saying like you're like above them. You can only empower somebody that's beneath you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we're gonna empower black voices. We're gonna empower black leadership. Well, who's the leader? There's only one leader. So you're gonna empower black leaders? No, you're just hiring black people. That's what you're doing. You're hiring black people, and you're putting them in positions, but they have no equity. They don't own anything. It's not their company. This is what Dame Dash told DJ Envy and Charlemagne and Angela Yee 7 years ago. Like, you don't own iHeart. I don't think it was disrespectful the way what he said. People might have got offended by how he said it, but
Yeah, so listen to the message and how it's delivered.
People, and even people that work at the corporations. There's a lot of great people that work at these corporations that have good intentions.
Yeah,
but they're under a misconception. They think that they have like real control and real power, but they don't.
Yeah.
They can be fired.
Yeah.
If they do something too radical, they're fired. If they do something that the higher ups don't agree with, they're fired. So how empowered are you really? How empowered are you really?
Or they make you train somebody else for your job placement.
It's just my thoughts. Just my thoughts.